I'm so happy 'cause today
yeah, I found my niche, what I want to do politically. I'm chairman of Fair Vote, the Center for Voting and Democracy in the United States. And that's one of the reasons why I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia today, is to promote election reform. I do community politics, my local county Democrats, my Grange community service group.
Are you going to run for office down in Washington State? You get asked that a lot, I'm sure.
I get asked that a lot, but I think I found my niche, what I like to do. And I like to, again, a homebody. I live in Southwest Washington, out in the country. And it's
STV, this is one of the commercials. STV will create giant ridings with up to 7 MLAs and 300,000 voters. This removes local accountability of MLAs and caps votes into fractions. You know what? I kind of agree with that.
That's baloney.
But now, Krist, if you were my MLA and we lived 4 blocks away from each other, all of a sudden you're not going to represent me anymore because they've taken away my little neighborhood. And now it's a giant riding. They take the city of Vancouver, cut it down the center, don't they?
They have already cut. A committee sat down. Okay. A committee sat down and cut Vancouver and British Columbia into ridings. We have the same thing in Washington State. We have an independent redistricting commission. Okay, so these political appointees, they sit down with complicated, sophisticated demographic data, criteria, and many times partisan intentions, even though it's independent, okay? They're political appointees, and they carve up Washington State. The commission carves up British Columbia. The commission carves up...
But they carve it up into small neighborhoods, basically, don't they? In which case, therefore, my little carved-up neighborhood might have, 6 or 12 city blocks to it.
And then you liked your MLA, and this commission carved up the neighborhood again, and then you don't like your MLA anymore because this commission determined who was going to represent you in the provincial legislature. See? So you have a bigger riding, but you have the same number of MLAs. I mean, that's just a smokescreen is what that is. Is single transferable vote takes the power away from these redistricting committees, the people who draw the lines, and puts it in the hands of the individual voters. Under the system right now, you vote for one MLA. Under single transferable votes, you can choose. You have 3, 4, 5 choices maybe, and you rank them in order of preference. I like this kind of cupcake. I like the other cupcake that looks more like a banana.
I like the way he's going now. This
I
is
like
good
the
direction.
banana cupcake.
Keep going that direction. You're dummying it down for us, and I need you to do that so I can understand it. Because we've had 5 or 6 people try and explain it to us, Krist, and I still don't get it.
If you get over 20% of the first choices, you're elected. Okay?
You're elected, yeah.
But say you're super popular. Who cares about your party or you're a great MLA, you're a great individual, you speak to your constituency, you're wildly popular, you've got 40% of the vote. Well, you have a surplus of votes then, okay?
Can you give that to any candidate you want to?
You don't give it away to. The formula gives it away to people, okay? So you've got 40% of the vote. You take that 40% and you transfer the second, third, and fourth choices to the remaining candidates.
Those ballots.
That's the transfer.
On those winning ballots.
On those winning ballots. That's the transfer. The single transferable vote.
Why does it have to be so goddamn confusing?
Okay, the opponents of STV. You invite an opponent, somebody who's against STV, to sit in the studio and tell you about the commission and the criteria that they need to
keep going.
Make a district compact. You need to make a district competitive. You need to make a district communities of interest together. You use demographic data. You use geographic data. You use computer programs. It's very complicated. First past the post. The system right now is complicated. Call them on the phone and ask them to explain that and see how many listeners you're going to lose. That's a smokescreen. It's baloney. Single transferable vote puts the power and sophistication of what these committees hold, these appointees, into the hands of each one of you, each British Columbian voters, each individual.
Wow, you get right fired up over this, don't you?
I'm so happy 'cause today